Mastering Corporate Communication. Hi guys, my name is Deepak Shukla, founder at the Pearl Lemon Group, and welcome back to day number 6 of 106 days of communications training. And today we're going to be talking about the importance of mastering corporate communication and what that means for you. But before we get into it, feel free to click the link in the description below to get access to 7 additional strategies that are not going to be shared in this training. So look, if you're in the business of being customer or client facing and you're in a corporate environment or you don't know what the environment yet is, then it's oftentimes better to behave a little bit in a corporate fashion. So what does practically a corporate fashion mean? I would say it's several things. One, it's your use of English. So in the UK, we have this expression called using the Queen's English. So what do I mean by that? When it comes to corporate communication, I would say that that means enunciating your words, articulating everything that you say. That would be the first thing. The second thing that I would say is try and be, where you can, professional in your speech. What does that mean practically? It means using formal language. It means referencing things appropriately. It means making sure that not only are you articulating and projecting and communicating, that you're using fundamentally proper language. So proper language, of course, or proper language would be things such as, in regards to what we were discussing last week, with that in mind, in view of what we've discussed. Furthermore, I'd say in consideration of everything, so in summary, my analysis of what happened would be as follows, and give me some time to come back to you on that point, Richard. So do you see, guys, the kind of language I'm using there? And what I'm doing currently, whilst we're discussing mastering corporate communication, is making a level effort to act in a corporate manner through the actual recording of this video. And you can see, if you were to compare this with, for example, training number 2, how to improve your communication skills instantly, you'd see that there's a distinct and critical difference from the way that I presented myself there and the way that I'm presenting now. Now, with that in mind, what you need to have the ability to do is to know when to switch this on and to know where and when it's appropriate. And that, a lot of that comes to reading the room. And reading the room can be looking at the company you're dealing with, looking at the niche the company is in, looking at the job title of the person you're talking to, understanding their language and style based upon the emails, as well as WhatsApps, as well as any form of communication you've had preceding an in-person call, and using that from a point of analysis and potentially mimicry. You don't always need to mimic exactly, but not going too far away from their base is definitely a firm way to behave in such an environment. So the example that I'm providing in this instance, I want you to carefully pay attention not only what I'm telling you, but what it is that I'm fundamentally communicating, and looking at the precise set of words I'm using in combination with each other to drive home the point of what is it that corporate communication is. So corporate communication could be another word also for business language, okay? Corporate refers to the corporation. The corporation is private enterprise, and that's fundamentally private businesses. It typically would not be, for example, establishments such as retail outfits, such as coffee shops, etc., such as hairdressers. However, with that in mind, it depends how far up the rung or how far up the ladder that you go within those organizations. And if you start getting to, for example, a head office level, then in that instance, it really pays to fundamentally understand that you need to behave and act in a manner that's more becoming of a corporate environment. And again, notice the use of the word becoming. So ways to practice this, if you think that, well, I need more reference points, Deepak, I would YouTube business communication. I would watch movies about the corporate environment. I would watch memes of the gentleman's English or British English, or listen to politicians, listen to economists. Economists are a great example of where you'd get some relevant examples of corporate communication. Listen to any examples of shareholder meetings at businesses. So there's an abundance of resources that you could just YouTube to identify corporate communication examples. And of course, that's notwithstanding watching this video in its entirety back to ensure that you get a real sense and example of what corporate communication might look like. And to that end, I'm sure in some instances, I'm not exactly enunciating absolutely every word that is that I'm saying. And now as I continue to refine and hone and focus in more on the word for word pronunciation, you can see that I'm trying to be clear in my communication style. And it's not only that, it's understanding the airs, much like when you'd go to a restaurant and there's particular types of forks, knives, as well as plates. In the corporation, there are similar things. Now, even I myself struggle with this because there's corporate communication that's relevant to specific industries. And if you're not a part of that industry, then you need to go for the general business parlance. So corporate communication in the space of search engine optimization would include the use of technical jargon. So being mindful of an industry's lingo or language is going to be powerful also. So there you have it, folks. There are some insights into the mastering of corporate communication, and I would absolutely recommend do rewatch this video, re-listen to the way that I'm communicating, as well as do in the comments below, please do outline your key takeaways from this video, as well as comment, liking, and subscribe if you're watching this indeed on YouTube, if you're enjoying the learning. There you have it, guys. Thanks.